The goal of this video is to show you how to add a counterargument paragraph to a paper. Hello there, I am your English teacher, Steve Rutledge. Two goals to this video. The first is to define what is a counterargument. And second, to give you an easy pattern you can use to write counterarguments as soon as we finish this video. A counterargument is a paragraph that, one, fairly raises a point someone makes who disagrees with you. Two, it makes a possible concession, and I'll define what that is in a little bit. Three, it explains why you still believe your position is best. Now, we actually use counterarguments in our everyday lives. Let me give you an example that happened to me just today. There's my wonderful son, Josiah Rutledge, and Josiah has signed up to sing in the church choir. But he suddenly found he was the only boy, and coming this Sunday, he didn't want to sit with all the girls and be the only boy in the group. Well, I used what's called a counterargument in my discussion with him. First, I raised his point fairly and told him, Josiah, I hear you saying you don't want to sit with the girls at the choir performance at church on Sunday. Second, I made a concession. That is, I said what I could agree with about his side. It's actually pretty rare in life that someone is 100% wrong and the other person 100% right. There's usually something you can agree with on the other side. So I made a concession. I agree. It can be embarrassing for a 9-year-old boy to be the only one surrounded by girls. In fact, I would have felt the same when I was your age. So after raising my point and making a concession, I then went on to explain why I still believed my position was right. My rebuttal was this. But we made a promise to the choir director. If you want to quit choir after this performance, you may. But we have to keep this promise. That's basically a counterargument. Raise a point someone might make who disagrees with you. Make a concession, say what you can agree with on their side. And then make a rebuttal. Say why you still believe your side is best. I'm going to show you how to make a counterargument in just a second, but I want to remind you that my students recently studied the NFL concussions crisis, so the examples I use in this video come from those assignments on NFL football and concussions. Counterarguments. You will also need to add a counterargument paragraph to your paper. In fact, I think you'll find this is a great technique you can use in many papers you will write for school and even in your own personal writing. Have you ever seen this picture, the one I'm circling to the right? What do you see? Do you see a beautiful princess? To me, it looks a little bit like Beyonce with the long hair. Well, what happens if we take it and turn it upside down and look at it from a different perspective? Do you see something else? I do. I see kind of an old washed-up clown. The same can be true of issues like concussions in the NFL. It might seem to you very obvious that the issue looks one way, but until you stop and ask yourself, what would someone say who disagrees with me, you might not see that the other side actually has a pretty good perspective as well. When we look at football, some people look at it and they say brute. It's a brute sport where people hurt each other, they injure each other, too many concussions. But other people who played football say, no, it's a glorious sport. It really builds unity between particularly young men. It gives you a chance to learn extreme hard work, togetherness, teamwork, lots of great things. This is a picture from the movie Rudy. So as you can see, some people look at football and see one way, some people look at it and see another way. Both sides have pretty good points to make. That's why it's important to have a counter-argument paragraph in papers like these, because when you flip the argument around, it can look completely different. The counter-argument will probably be the easiest paragraph you write for this paper and for many of the papers you write. I'm going to give you a general pattern that you are welcome to use. By the way, do not actually put the words part 1, part 2, part 3 in your paper. Those are there just to show you that there are 3 parts to the counterargument paragraph. Again, this is a simple pattern that you're welcome to borrow. You can even use these exact words as long as you insert your own content into it at the appropriate time. Part 1. Now, some may say, and here's where you insert an argument someone might make against your position. For part 2, you can simply say, I agree that, and then insert something you can agree with from the other side. Finally, part 3, say why you still believe your position is best. But, and then you insert why you believe your position is best. Let's see what a counterargument paragraph might actually look like. Now, some may say, but these big football injuries don't happen to everyone. I agree. So I've just made a point someone would make who disagrees with me. Now I'm going to insert a way that I agree with their side. I agree that there are people who've played the game briefly and, like me, have nothing lasting except great memories. Now comes part 3, where I say why I still believe my position is best. But at this time it seems like more and more people are coming out to say they have problems because they played football. For example, the recent NFL concussions lawsuit was filed by 4,500 former players. That's bigger than most towns around where I live. So it doesn't sound like the Favres and the Seaus are exceptions. Maybe guys who played and escaped with no damage are really the exceptions. Let's look at the pattern again. Now some may say, insert a point someone might make who disagrees with you. I agree with anything you can agree with. Again, that's called a concession. But I still believe, state why you still believe your position is best. That's called a rebuttal. Put that together into a paragraph, and you have a counterargument. And that's how to do a counterargument. Happy writing!